Hello, everybody. Welcome back. And today we are going to be discussing high probability liquidity pools. So, the number one thing, not just with targeting liquidity pools, understanding which lows, which highs to target, what we want to see swept, what we don't want to see swept. The number one thing, not just with this, with trading as a whole, is higher time frame narrative, right? You want to get in sync with institutional order flow and understand is price likely to reach for buy side liquidity or sell side liquidity. Okay, so before we even get into the rest of this video, this has to be the foundation of your trading. Okay, higher time frame narrative, higher time frame bias. Where is price likely to go on the weekly, daily, 4-hour charts? Okay. So again, this is an example with a weekly chart. So what do we have here? We have a swing high and a swing low, discount and premium. So as we'll see, price is going to reach up into this weekly SIBI, and we want to monitor how price acts in here. Why? Because it is a higher time frame PD array inside of a premium. Okay, so as we can see here, price did in fact on a weekly chart reach up into this weekly SIBI in a premium. Okay. And before we get to the lower time frames and talk about high probability liquidity pools, this is the logic from One Setup for Life, the video by ICT. So if you have not watched that video, I highly recommend you go watch it. Every trader in our Discord, I tell, go watch that video. It'll open your eyes if you're struggling with which highs and which lows to target. Okay, so if you have an idea of prices likely to draw higher or lower, you still want to have precise levels to target, okay? Or levels that you want to see swept before a reversal. So if you have not watched the One Setup for Life video by ICT, go watch that. It is a great video, and it'll open your eyes to session liquidity. So this will just be a quick slide on kind of the logic behind One Setup for Life. But essentially, after we understand the higher time frame bias, the higher time frame narrative, we want to look for sweeps of previous day highs and lows, previous week high and low, London session high and low, AM session high and low, lunch high and low, and PM session high and low. Okay? So now we are zoomed in to a 15-minute chart. This red box is still the weekly SIBI. So as we can see, price is reaching up into this weekly fair value gap, the higher time frame PD array. But what is it also doing? It is sweeping a session high. In this case, we have previous day high. Okay, so that's, if we were looking for shorts, that's what we want to see. We want to see a session high swept into a higher time frame PD array, and then we get our setup. Now, this video will not be focused specifically on setups themselves. That will be for other videos. And if you haven't seen my previous videos, go check those out for how I enter trades as well. But this will be more focused on the liquidity pools. So we have this session high swept into a higher time frame PD array. Now, what is left down here? Previous day low and London low. And when I see these signatures in price, I'll call it, when we have a session low and then the next session or a following session will come very close to that low, but not sweep it. And then it will drive to a session high and best case scenario, a higher time frame PD array as well. If we're bearish, that's exactly what we want to see, because what is this now? It's not only previous day low, we have two session lows in close proximity to each other. So in my eyes, it makes this setup more probable for price to return to it once we get our short setup. So again, this next example is a 15-minute time frame, and you can't see the weekly fair value gap in this chart, but this is just a couple days later. So by extension, our bias is still bearish. We're delivering out of that higher time frame premium PD array. Okay? So if we do want to see lower prices, what do we want to see first? We want to see the manipulation to trap longs, but also sweeping a session high. So here we take out London session high. And just like the last example, what do we have here? London session low. Did the AM session low from this day take out the London low? No, it came close but left it. So this is just more engineered sell side liquidity. So if we were to just have this London session low, it could still work, of course. That's the logic from the One Setup for Life video about ICT. And again, go watch that if you haven't watched it. But since we came close to it here, came back up just to sweep this buy side, this is exactly what we want to see, right? It makes this sell into these session lows more probable because we have two in close proximity. Okay, so now we are moving on to a 4-hour chart, and this is a different time frame. This is a couple months after the previous examples. Okay, so internalizing this price action, we're basing the premise that higher time frame bias is bearish. We have further sell side objectives to reach for. Okay, and if some of you guys trade the S&P, you might recognize this price action. Go look at your 4-hour chart, and more specifically, look at the last, I'll give you a hint, 2 months. That'll be a nice little treasure hunt for you guys, okay? But this is a 4-hour chart on the S&P. Now, if we are looking to see lower prices on a higher time frame basis, what do we want to see before we get our short setups? Do we want to short down here in a discount? No. We want to wait for price to reach a premium and for price to sweep session highs. So what's occurring here? This is a daily high, right? We make this high here. The next day, we sweep that. What is this categorized at? As PDH, which stands for previous day high swept. Okay, we're creating a range here. We sweep what? We make this high, sweep it, previous day high sweep. Make this high, one more, previous day high sweep. Again, 3 drives pattern, just a little extra there. Okay, so we're just sweeping these session highs before we go lower. And again, there's probably great short setups on lower time frames. It depends if you execute on the 15-minute, 5, 1, whatever it is. If we were to go look deeper into this, combining these, these logics from, and I know that's not the word, but these concepts from session liquidity, One Setup for Life video that ICT taught, it makes your entry model much more precise, much higher probability if you understand these things. But again, you have to have a understanding of higher time frame bias, higher time frame order flow, narrative, all of that. That, like stated in the beginning of this video, that is the foundation. It needs to be the foundation for your trading, okay? But if we are bearish from a higher time frame perspective, this is exactly what we want to see. Session highs get swept into premium. Now, once you get our short set up here, where would we want to target? Well, we could look at this swing low. And again, I do not have the times on this chart. That'll be a task for you guys watching for the scavenger hunt, I'll call it. But it's the 4-hour chart on ES. This candle right here is a low of London session, a previous London session. So just with the One Setup for Life logic, that is high probability low. That's what you want to be targeting. But why is it higher probability? Because we have this order block that is untouched right beneath it. So when I see these types of things happen in price, and I have a higher time frame bias, I understand narrative, where price is likely to reach to, these are when liquidity pools become much more high probability, in my opinion, with my experience trading these ICT concepts. Okay, so this could also be a breaker, a mitigation block, a volume imbalance, right? But when you have a session low with an untapped PD array right below it, in this case, it makes it higher probability for price to want to reach down there. Okay, and what do we have below here? A daily low and another daily low in close proximity to each other. So like we discussed in the previous examples, this low was formed and this was a daily low. This low came down but did not take it. So what is it? Engineered sell side liquidity. Okay, so if we wanted to take partials here or we wanted to just hold for a continuation, this would be our next target. And now, taking a deeper look at this same fractal of price, what do we see? Well, we have this new week opening gap. How do we internalize this? How does it make this swing low more probable to be delivered to? Because we understand that higher time frame bias is what? Bearish. And we also understand that price does two things: reaches for liquidity or inefficiencies. Now, this new week opening gap was formed, right? So it's a gap in price. What do we have here? We have buy side delivery through it. So only buy side has been delivered through the new week opening gap. Has sell side been delivered to and through it? No. So that alone with the new week opening gap, we expect price to come back down to this new week opening gap at some point to make it efficient, because it's only had the buy side delivery and not sell side delivery. Now, if that was our basis alone, right, our reason for price to come back down here to deliver to and through this new week opening gap, what would it deliver to below it? If we think it's going to go through it, not just to it, through it, what else is going to reach for? London low and the untapped order block. So see how you can add these more advanced concepts, and they're just more pieces to the puzzle to understand what price is doing, and added confluence to why price should reach for this liquidity pool. Yes, it's a session low. Yes, we have an order block here, but we understand that this new week opening gap has only been delivered buy side to and through it, not sell side. So it's going to want to come down, deliver sell side to make the new week opening gap efficient, right, in its delivery, and to take this previous London low and to draw to this order block here. And as you can see now, on top of the things we've already discussed, what makes this even higher probability? Standard deviation. So we have session liquidity, order blocks, or this doesn't have to be just an order block like I stated, it can be another untapped PD array, an inefficient new week opening gap, and SD just stands for standard deviations, okay? We can do another video solely on standard deviations, and if you want that, just let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to put something together, but just let me know if that would be something you guys would want to study together. But on top of these things we've already discussed, this is where we attach our fibs, and we can discuss this again in a later video. But if we use our fib here, right, this swing low to this swing high, look at this. This is what we want to see for added confluence. Negative 1.5 standard deviation is right at the order block, right at London low, okay? And beyond that, negative 2.5 is where? In some random place? No, it's right next to this daily low, okay? So all of these things are tools to frame narrative, to understand where price will reach to, but more importantly, why price would want to reach to it. We understand price does what? Reaches for inefficiencies and liquidity. Okay? I'm sure you guys have also heard that ICT says that, like I've stated, these order blocks, or if this was a breaker, a mitigation block, whatever, these can also be draws, not just areas where you look for support. Okay? So thank you guys. I hope you guys got something out of this video. Again, we can do part 2, part 3, whatever, to look at other reasons why liquidity pools are higher probability through my experience trading ICT. Again, if you have not seen the One Setup for Life video about ICT, I highly, highly recommend go watch that. It will open your eyes to liquidity, and it really, really helped me out, as well as all the traders in my Discord, right? We've all watched it, and it's helped us out tenfold in our ICT journey. That being said, join our free Discord. The link will be down in the description below. Okay, we do interactive studies where I'll put some of my favorite ICT videos on in voice chat, and we'll watch them together. And no matter where you are in your ICT journey, we can bounce ideas off of each other, pause a video, rewind it, take notes, and learn together. It's a great way to learn. I also do live trading in there most days. Okay. On top of that, follow my Twitter. It's in the description as well. I post most of my live executions on Twitter, so you can see how I actually execute these trades, how I trail my stop loss, where I target, why I target certain things. Okay. And again, let me know in the comments what other concepts you guys want me to tackle, want me to make a video on. And be sure to like this video, subscribe, and let's grow together. Go join that Discord below. Everything's free. I'm not selling you anything. And we can all win. We can all learn these ICT concepts together. So again, thank you guys for watching. Hope you learned something, and I will see you guys soon.